Hello everyone, this is Spring Porter with Spring Solutions LLC. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the state of California and the 4 districts that it has pertaining to unclaimed funds in bankruptcy court. I had one viewer reach out to me asking if I can cover this particular state similar to the way that I did Texas yesterday in the video that I did yesterday and the one that I did for New York and Florida and a few other states. So I'm going to be doing that today. In the state of California, I'll be showing you the 4 different districts, how many cases they have in the funds locator, and I'll be showing you where to find their instruction packets if you're trying to recover an unclaimed fund in that particular jurisdiction. So if you're interested in working unclaimed funds in the state of California, stay tuned. Please note that I'm not an attorney. This information is not indicated as legal advice. This is just for researching purposes as it pertains to bankruptcy and unclaimed funds in the state of California. So if we start, this is the Northern District of California, and if we just step back a moment and search the unclaimed funds locator, and we type in CA for California, and we pull up the Northern District, and then just search, this will pull up all the unclaimed funds for this particular Northern District of California. And so in this particular district, there are about 57,000 claims. Now, yes, some of them are very small and some of them are large. As I've stated, you have to kind of sort through the amounts to figure out, which ones are higher or which ones you would like to go after first. All right, so there are a lot that are listed here. If you go to this site, and you can just Google the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Northern District of California, you'll pull up this site. And if you're unsure, like say you're not living or working in the state of California and you're not sure which counties this covers, you can always go to like court locations or contact us or something, and you can see which locations this covers. So it covers these specific counties for the Northern District, and the clerks of court are listed up here. So there's Oakland, San Jose, Santa Rosa, and San Francisco up here, in case you were just wondering. All right. If you go to the search bar engine and type unclaimed funds, this is similar to the other states in that they have the instruction packet listed right on their website. So you do that and you just come down here, and here are your instructions. And it looks like this was revised December the 2nd, 2018. So if you read through here, you will be able to determine what you need, what documents have to be provided, so on and so forth, and what kind of claimant you are, and what you need to be filling out. It appears that this district allocates maybe different provisions if the claim was before January 2005 and if it was claimed after January 2005. So it seems like you may need different documents depending on what year. And if you're unsure what the year of your claim is, if you go back to the case, this is a case number. So if you go back to the funds locator, look for this column, the case number, and the first 2 digits will indicate when this case was filed. So for this one is 2009. So that means you would be filing right here is after 2005. So everything after here is what you need to be reading. And if you're doing, let's say this one, 2001, then you know to follow these particular guidelines up here. So you have to read through this. They're all specific to what kind of claimant you are, and for here, what year it was. So this is where you find the instruction packets for the Northern District of California. And here's the clerk's address and who you send the application to. All of that's here. All right. And the documents that you need are down here. There's an order, there's an application, and if we click just on that, it looks like they used this official form, and they've already kind of plugged in the jurisdiction up here. And if you look further down, they usually will have who you have to mail this to. So down here it has the U.S. attorney for this particular jurisdiction. So you would have to read through that and just make sure you have what you need. So that is it for the Northern District. Now if we want to go to the Southern District, let's move over and let's go back to the funds locator to find out how many cases there are. So the Southern District of California is here, and this has about 11,000 cases where there are funds left over from bankruptcy cases, right? So these are potential leads. And as I've stated in previous video, that doesn't mean that all 11,000 are ones that you would want to work. I have a video on what makes a decent claim. Maybe I'll put that link in the description box in case you were wondering which leads you should be looking for if you're new to my channel. I can place that in the description box. So at any rate, the Southern District of California Bankruptcy Court has about 11,000 cases. And this is what their website looks like. It looks similar to, if you see a reoccurring theme, most of the bankruptcy courts kind of have this blue heading with the seal, and they have sort of this maroon colored tabs. Most of them are like that. This one has blue, but they're pretty standard in the way that it looks. They're not always standard with finding the information. So on here, unclaimed funds does have its own section. Oh, and back up just a moment. San Diego and Imperial. This is, I guess, the two most southern counties that this particular district covers. Here's somebody like me that's not familiar with California. I live on the East Coast. You may want to know what this covers. So that is that. And down here, unclaimed funds page. And here's your information. This particular district, the application has to be sent to the finance department. So here you have a mailing address and a telephone number in case you don't understand anything that you need to contact this number if you're unclear and you're not sure what you're doing. So let's go and see. Here's the instructions right here. And it tells you to search for it. You're just going to use the funds locator, which we saw back here. In order to claim it, you need to fill out this application. And it tells you everything else down here, what kind of claimant you are, the owner of record, if someone is deceased, if you're the claimant representative, whether or not you're, if you're a company. See right here, it's specified of individual, business. So this is what you have. And this application goes to the financial administrator, as I've mentioned earlier. The address is listed down here. So this is the instruction package for the Southern District. Now if I go back, you can check their application. This link here, it just states that it's the instructions, and if you go one down, you'll see that this application looks similar to the other ones that we have seen. Some of them are the same. They use this official form. And here you have the U.S. Attorney's address is listed here because they always get a copy. And this here is asking for the payee information and the TIN number. So if you're a business or you need a TIN or EIN number, and if you're an individual and you're not incorporated as a business, but you're trying to work on the behalf of a claimant, then you're going to have to put your social. Read through here and figure out how you have to fill this out because every jurisdiction is different, as I've stated. Some you just need a W-9 and some you need this form. So here again is additional information with instructions. Oh, and if you read further down, it gives you an actual contact person not just you have, so here you have an email address, you have a telephone number, and Sandra Adams is someone who will help you with this particular process. So that's good, you have a name. They usually don't put a whole name there. But here you have this. So this is the Southern District of California. Let's move to the Central District. There are 4 in the state of California, and we've looked at 2. So the last 2 are Central and Eastern. So if I type in California Central under Fund Locator and search, this has 63,000 cases where there are unclaimed funds held. Over 63,000. So again, as I've stated, some of them are low. All of these are probably not going to be worth your time. You have to sort this and make this list to your liking. Again, keep in mind that this is the case number, and some jurisdictions put in letters. This BK is just bankruptcy, and this 1 up here is just an additional number. That may be a judge or something, but the year would be the next 2 digits. So this means that this particular case was filed in 2013, this one 2017, 2018. So if you're looking for this case in PACER or court listener to verify funds, you need to take out the extra digits and the letters. So this case number will be 1316210. Because if you plug this into PACER, it's not going to pull it up, and you'll just get frustrated. And it's much easier to plug in a case number in PACER as opposed to writing their whole name, right? Because if we're fast, we tend to misspell, and sometimes the spelling could be wrong on here anyway. So typically use the case number. All right, so this is Central. Let's go to their website. And if you just do a Google search for U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Central District of California, you'll be able to find it. And right here, it gives you the map. It looks like these are the counties: Los Angeles County, San Bernardino, Riverside, and a few others I can't read. But these are the counties that is located in the Central District of California. And I don't see a little portal for unclaimed funds. So I'm just going to type it up here. Unclaimed funds, and then search. And here's an application. So this looks like the official form as well. And this is formula writing. It looks like the address to the U.S. Attorney is here. So that's good. Sometimes you have to read this. Sometimes they just put the office of the U.S. Attorneys, like that name, and they leave it blank. I've seen that in a few jurisdictions. So you want to make sure you read through this and just Google it if you don't know who the U.S. Attorneys is or their address is. Just Google it, and sometimes they may have it on the court website. So they don't always fill it in. Sometimes the clerks make mistakes and they don't fill those forms in properly. So if we go to, I'm trying to see if we can find instruction packet other than just that form. Okay, it looks like they have a new requirement for their process for unclaimed funds. It looks like it just changed in January. I think at one point they needed a motion. You needed a motion to file unclaimed funds at one point, and then it looks like they retired that process, and so now they're using the application. That's what this says. So always read those notifications that you see here, new requirements and that type of thing, because things change. And if you were to file a motion using their old system down here, you probably would have gotten a deficiency notice asking you to change the process and please refer to the new rules. So always read your local rules. You can't just save these documents and think, okay, a year from now I'm going to use the same thing, because things change. So here's the instruction packet for the Central District of California here. And if you missed that step, just I went to unclaimed funds search and I just clicked instructions. And this looks similar to other standard jurisdictions that follow the similar procedures and what they need. Some of them, most of them do look the same. A lot of them, I mean, don't. I guess it's 50-50 from what I've seen so far. I have not checked all 50 states, but so far this appears to be like the official way of doing it, and then some deviate and do their own thing. So this looks familiar is what I'm saying, from the ones in Georgia and other places. All right, so you would go through here and see what kind of claimant you are, and here is who you mail it to. And this one goes to the unclaimed funds processor, and that's the address there in Los Angeles. All right, so that's the instruction packet for Central District. So now we're going to go over to the last district, and this one's in the Eastern District of California. And if we go back to the unclaimed funds locator, let's see about how many cases there are. So here there are about 11,000, right? In this district, they just used a simple case number, unlike the central where they added the extra letters and the extra number. This just puts the basic case number, in case you were wondering. So if we go to the website, which is just US, Bankruptcy Court, Eastern District of California, just type that in and you'll find it. Unclaimed funds is listed here. Let's see what this covers. If we can find maybe a contact us. Okay, so it's Sacramento, Modesto, and Fresno area. Those are, I guess, where the clerk's offices are for this particular district. And if we go back, here's unclaimed funds is already highlighted. And then right here it tells you, how do I apply for unclaimed funds? So here is their application. And this looks slightly different than the official form, but it still has the same information. It just, the boxes and stuff look different. But at any rate, you would read through this, and it tells you right in it supporting documentation you need if you're an individual filing or if you're a business or government entity, right? And the certificate of service. And this is like for tax purposes, this TIN certification. Some jurisdictions just need a simple W-9 and other ones need this. And it looks like this particular form for this jurisdiction requires, I think they want banking information too. Yeah, because it says for checking and savings. So they would probably do electronic transfer, in case you were wondering. Okay, so and the instructions are further down. It tells you what to do, how to do it, what are the main questions. There's a help desk number. I mean, this looks intimidating, but there's people that you can call if you're filling this out. Try to do it to the best of your knowledge and ability, and call to double check if there's something that you're not understanding. And it looks like for this jurisdiction in the Eastern District, they have two particular addresses. So it looks like there's a Sacramento address and there's one for Fresno. So you could potentially be calling, I guess, two different offices to initially find out what you need. But once you mail it, obviously make sure you call the correct office so that you don't have to, get transferred and get moved around. So keep good records once you mail these out and you start doing your claims so that you remember what you mailed and that whole process. All right, so that is the Eastern District of California. And again, there's 4 districts and all of them have pretty good amounts of claims in there. So I hope that this was helpful and I hope I answered the questions that the viewer asked me to cover for this particular state. If you are in need of any other clarifications on some of the videos, or would like me to do a video on a certain topic that I have not covered, please just send me an email, or just send me a comment, and I will appreciate, your feedback and your advice on what you would like to see next. So until then, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.